What is up, you awesome kissers? This is CistReactZ, guys. Today we're reacting to Game Theory, FNAF, Afton's Last Stand, Security Breach DLC. So make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to Game Theory, and comment down below. So let's get into this bop.
Oh, it's over!
Oh, gosh.
It is finally over! The thing that's been haunting me for over 2 years is finally dead and buried.
Why do I feel like at the beginning of every single Game Theory that has to do with FNAF, he always says something about something's over that's torturing him, but then he goes into like an 18-minute video talking about how something is torturing him. It never ends with Matt Pat, and I love it.
It's
like it's descent into madness.
Series, 12 books, 36 stories, 2,912 pages.
My lord, he counted all of them.
And every page
wow.
of that thing. No more do I have to waste my nights reading page after page after page of tepid, warmed-over horror for the tiniest scrap of lore. No more will I be forced to try and convince you that the books are important tools for solving the games. Actually,
the nerd face.
And no more will I have to write the words "Fastgoo WTF" into my notes. I get to go back to being a gaming channel again, unless of course I want to read these 7 Hello Neighbor books.
Oh no. My lord.
Yeah, right. I guess all I have to do now is wait
for the
DLC to roll out and
here comes another book.
No.
I told you it happens all the time. When Scott catches Matt Pat getting a wink of sleep, he gets another book out for Matt Pat to be tortured over. I swear to God, it never fails.
No! Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's basically book theory in disguise, because there's now another FNAF book series in existence. Oh, it physically hurts me to say that, but Tales from the Pizzaplex is a thing that apparently exists. The first book came out a month ago, and there are now 3 more due before the end of the year. How? How is it possible to write so many books? Scott, my dude, I appreciate the hustle, but maybe just spend a little less time on your literature empire and a little more time making a game with a cohesive narrative. Who am I kidding?
Shots fired.
Time to release more Funko Pops. You know, all those essential characters to the franchise, like Radioactive Glow Foxy.
Radioactive Glow Foxy.
Regardless of my feelings about the books, one thing I will say is that they've led to some of our most
I see those everywhere
to date. So, despite my better judgment, I read the new one so you guys at home don't have to. And I gotta say, I was surprised.
So I'm sorry for the pausing, but Matt Pat's just speaking facts as per usual. It's just like, bro, if there is something more out and weird and twisty as the FNAF lore, it's definitely the FNAF merch. Because what the fuck is a radioactive Foxy Glow or whatever? It's like the merch is just so out there, like the lore.
Book, you have one emotional gut punch of a story that's probably the best in the entire FNAF series.
Really?
One incredibly gruesome story where people are physically being ripped apart by Glamrock Bonnie, and one where the entire world dies of cancer because a girl wanted to play FNAF AR. That last one, by the way, is barely an exaggeration of the actual story. A girl goes to the Pizzaplex and hops into an augmented reality machine, which causes everyone else in the entire world to develop cancer, and also give birth to translucent goo babies that eventually swallow the girl whole. This is a product that really exists.
Are these stories,
it's likely
bro?
That what's really happening in this story is that she's trapped in the AR machine, and all of this is happening inside the prison of her own mind. But let me just say that the story
most likely sounds like FNAF.
Vague. Anyway, I just saved you 80 pages of reading stories about kids dying of cancer. You're welcome. So in the aftermath of all of this, I've rummaged back through the old box of theories to come up with 3 mini theories for you to chew on. 2 that clarify major points from Security Breach, and 1 that gives us an idea of where the game's DLC is going to take us next. To get there, we're going to be covering lore. So much lore. Game lore, book lore, real lore,
that word.
More lore.
I know he hates that word when it comes to FNAF.
So
lore.
Get ready there, Laura Croft. Today, we've got ourselves 3 theories at Freddy's. Let's motivate this episode with a controlled shock. Theory number 1, Security Breach's animatronics aren't possessed, except for Freddy. Maybe some people already thought of this, maybe have never really questioned it.
It's because of the Michael Afton theory.
This is a huge deal because it would be the first time in the series that the main animatronics don't have spirits inside of them. This was something that really stuck with me after our last episode on the Blob, and I figured...
I think he's right. The first time in the mainline FNAF series where there's no
I should probably discuss it here, so let me take you through my thinking. First,
I guess so.
Who would be possessing these animatronics at this point in the series? Security Breach takes place after the FNAF 6 fire. A fire that, as we spoke about last time, worked as Henry intended. As a quick reminder, Henry set the fire to purge all the
apparently it didn't work for Michael.
Freddy,
poor Michael.
Baby. And he was successful in his project. They're gone now. That's why the puppet mask inside the blob has no more tears, and why Baby's eyes are all extinguished. What Henry didn't account for, though, was agony. The way I see it, the blob is a collection of agony agony that lingers on.
I still can't believe that's an actual thing. Agony.
The rage that remains even after the spirits pass on. So if I'm truly right about that,
like they were so mad that they left their anger in there too while possessing the robots. How do you leave your anger while possessing a robot?
All those past victims have been laid to rest. They're gone. They're removed from the franchise.
Like you would think your ghost manifested because you were angry at your killer.
Spirits would be inside the rock stars. Well, the only other option are the 9 missing kids that we see in the newspaper article during the game's bad ending.
And I forgot about that too.
Too many. We only get 6 new animatronics.
Holy crap!
Freddy,
more
Martin,
kids.
Chico, Roxy, daycare attendant, and Music Man.
He's been waiting to do that.
I specifically did this episode just so I had an excuse to do that. I suppose you could say that there were 7 if you count the 2 sides.
Been waiting a long time to do that, I could tell.
Still, that is 2 spirits short. But you don't have to take my word for it. The game outright tells us this itself. About a month ago, Reddit user Seriously Unserious posted a big research doc.
Seriously Unserious? You've read the underscore.
A computer expert. This was research that they were doing for a video on the Rye Toast channel, which, shout out to a fellow FNAF theorist.
Yeah, shout outs to him too. I swear to God, like I can pull up the email right now. Like I literally asked Rye Toast, could I react to some of his FNAF lore content? And the nice guy literally said, best of luck to me. Just make sure I, you know, shout out his channel. And yeah, there it is, right there, the email. Shout outs to Rye Toast. Yeah, subscribe to him.
Love your cat, by the way. If you've never heard of Rye Toast, go check him out. I mean, when you got thumbnails like this, you know that this is a
Matt is right, thankfully.
Creator with some really smart stuff to say. Anyway, in his Reddit post, Seriously Unserious looks at the glitch trap virus for exactly what it is, a computer virus, going into the specific details of how viruses work and seeing how it affects Glamrock Freddy. You see, computer viruses don't live independently.
He knows this stuff like MatPat.
They have to be attached to something, usually a file or a program, and when said program
I'm learning how viruses work.
The virus and allows it to run. And believe it or not, but we actually watch this process happen at the very beginning of Security Breach. Notice how when we're looking at Glamrock Freddy's head, we get a glimpse that he's in show mode. There's an integrity bar, and we get a line that says test run. Also, you'll notice the
wait, I don't remember all that. I remember the RTX stuff there.
Command line interface here where the primary folder is named System32.
I was thinking that was a joke towards ray tracing. Oh, it is, I guess, since they're doing Windows references.
Animatronics are PC master race, baby! But as we all know, very shortly into Freddy's performance, he stops dancing and begins to glitch out when he gets triggered by a child that's out of the
show mode integrity bar, what the heck?
In the past. But one thing that we've never done is look through these 5 seconds at a quarter speed to actually watch the cascade of events playing out that ultimately result in Freddy's crash. Inside
You're
the
serious.
System32 folder,
they slowed it down.
runs a program named Git568. We also see this happen in the code when the command line Heat869 pops up. Heat vision or thermal vision. So it would seem like the Git program is telling Freddy to scan the audience and look for a kid to potentially grab. Eventually, there's a second command line which loads in some other programs and runs tests. All of these tests come back with a negative result, except for the last one, which receives a Y. Yes, and that's when the program starts to crash. At the same time, Freddy supposedly finds Gregory in the crowd. This then prompts Freddy's program to define rule X. Looks like the code is searching for what it's supposed to do in a situation like this. We don't know what that rule is, but we do know that the next step is to return warning 79, which is when we see the word warning pop up in the HUD. Freddy then goes into overdrive and the whole thing aborts. It tries to init task, but this is met with a void response, meaning that it's not getting a response from Freddy's RAM. The next line,
like somebody who knows their stuff about computers could be playing Security Breach and they notice that and they're like, oh yeah, like, and then list off what everything does like MatPat's doing right now. Is he serious or is he just like theorizing?
And then tells us
I'm stupid.
Overload,
I don't understand.
Trying to reallocate resources in Freddy's memory, but there's an insufficient amount, which causes SW.failure and Freddy crashing to the ground. After that, he's booted up into safe mode, which is a way to boot up a system that uses only the bare.
He's giving all of this, and then he's also referring to the side too. So I think he knows what he's reading right there. I think that was like 4 people who know how to read that type of stuff.
Central programs. Get it? Bear. Because he's a bear. You'll notice that glitch trap isn't a problem for Freddy throughout the rest of the game, which tells us that the glitch trap virus is actually housed as a part of show mode. It's a non-essential program. This is why Freddy's in the clear for the remainder of the game, but the other animatronics are suddenly in Kill Gregory mode, because once the show's done, glitch trap activates. It's funny, but in a poetic twist, the glitch trap virus caused Freddy to glitch, crashed him out of show mode, which in turn rendered glitch trap unable to corrupt his system. It's only after the corrupted parts of the other animatronics are added to Freddy that we finally see glitch trap able to get a stronger hold over his system. But
you know, that makes sense.
Overload that prompted Freddy's crash in the first place.
Never thought about it that way.
This is caused by a lack of CPU or RAM. But
holy crap! Hang on, I'm sorry. I actually just never really thought about it that way. Cause yeah, like just as Matt said, he was literally fine throughout the whole game, and then all of a sudden when you're fighting Burn Trap on the you know, the we're fighting Burn Trap under the Pizza Plex. I think that was what it's called. It's been a while. No, the FNAF 6 location, the pizzeria simulator place. You can see him mess with Freddy.
Would it crash inside of Freddy and not any of the
Freddy
other
Fazbear's Pizzeria. Jesus, I think that's what it's called.
Valuable disk
FFP.
inside of Freddy. Well, how about the soul of Michael Afton? Why else would Freddy suddenly not have enough resources when all the other animatronics work?
Wait, I'm sorry.
This is caused other animatronics are added to Freddy that we finally see Glitch Trap able to get a stronger hold over his system. But let's go back to that allocation overload that prompted Freddy's crash in the first place. Normally, this is caused by a lack of CPU or RAM, but why would it crash inside of Freddy and not any of the other animatronics? What else could be taking up the valuable disk space inside of Freddy? Well, how about the soul of Michael Afton? Why else would Freddy suddenly not have enough resources when all the other animatronics work fine?
This walk animation is taking too much RAM.
Inside of him that they don't. The spirit of someone else. A spirit that starts to show activity once he sees Gregory out in the audience. And while we're on the subject of dead kids, theory number 2, Gregory. Everyone's favorite robot kid was built using old parts of staff bots. I know the whole Gregory is a robot theory is already a bit controversial, but like it or not, robot kids have been an accepted thing inside this universe since Charlie had 4 versions of herself hidden behind closet doors in the initial novel trilogy. And where there's a robot...
See, this is why Scott never should have, like, explicitly said years ago that the books have no lore ties into them, and then actually made lore ties with the book. Because isn't that how we found out who William Afton was through the books?
There also tends to be a box
before the William Afton teaser actually came out for Sister Location.
You know it, but the new Tales from the Pizzaplex book doubles down on both Robot Kids and boxes, with not just one story, but 2. In the second story, Lally's game, Selena's about to marry the love of her life, Cade. They move into a new house, and while unpacking, Selena sees an old trunk that belongs to Cade, a box that Cade insists is full of memorabilia. Surprise, surprise! It's not memorabilia at all, but rather yet another robot kid, Lally. Yeah, Lally is the robot child that's on the cover of this book, but that visual is actually misleading. Lally does have the childish facial features and is around 3 to 4 feet tall, but he isn't purple. Rather, he's meant to be white with black joints. Anyway, once again, we find ourselves with a robot child that's locked away inside of a box. One that is specifically mentioned to be related to the Pizzaplex. But it's another story, Frailty, where things get real interesting. In this one, we're given yet another robot girl, Jessica. But Jessica's built a little bit different.
Lots of robots here.
She wears a heart-shaped pendant that
lots of robot humans.
When she shaves off parts of that pendant, she's able to heal sick people around her. As the pendant gets smaller and smaller, rusty, oily metal junk begins to mysteriously appear around her until, once the pendant's gone, Jessica just becomes a pile of scrap. If that story sounds vaguely familiar to you, it should, because the exact same thing happened in the second ever Fazbear Fright story.
It's the same neck. Let me see if I get it right. Is it the same necklace that the baby model was giving the girl so she could look beautiful, and then when it was taken off, I think she turned into junk.
Story to be beautiful.
Yeah.
In that one, a girl named Sarah finds
my memories are good.
Freitas' version of baby in a junkyard. As thanks for rescuing her, Eleanor grants Sarah a wish. Sarah wishes, as the title of the story suggests, to be beautiful. Each morning, Sarah wakes up to have yet another part of her fixed. The only stipulation is that Sarah keep wearing a mysterious pendant. In the end, Sarah takes off the pendant and collapses into a pile of rusted old garbage. She had been rebuilt piece by Eleanor, looking and acting like a human, but held together by a pendant made of remnant. Until the pendant came off, the illusion was broken, and she turned back into trash.
But I didn't realize the pendant was made out of remnant.
Appears to be yet another victim of Baby's scheme. However, there's more to Frailty than just human-looking metal, because I don't think Jessica is just made out of any old junk. I think she's made out of very special junk. At the very start of the story,
very special junk.
Line, quote, Jessica pushed the wet mop across the hospital floor, to and fro, to and fro. She remembered that saying from somewhere before, she just didn't remember from where, something from the past. Now alone, this wouldn't amount to all that much, but this forgotten memory of pushing a mop to and fro is repeated 3 other times throughout the story. It's one of those weird details that goes completely unexplained, has no actual bearing on the plot, but feels important because it's repeated so many times and is so oddly specific. We do eventually learn that Jessica's aware of her current state as a heap of junk held together by a magic pendant, and that it's all tied to a decision that she made sometime in her past when she was a normal kid with a normal life, but this specific memory about a mop, nothing. nothing. She has memories of her past, sure, but the compulsion to mop? Yeah, she has no idea where it's coming from, which is why I suspect it's not her memory. Instead, I think it's coming from the memory of these guys, the staff bots in Security Breach. We have a number of mopping staff bots throughout the facility, all programmed to move their mops to and fro, just like Jessica. Now, we know that Jessica's made out of junk. I'm not suggesting that she's just a staff bot in disguise or something, but we also know that there's a lot of broken and discarded staff bots underneath the Pizzaplex, and the Pizzaplex is mentioned in the
And they are very terrifying looking, yes.
What if Eleanor uses parts of these broken down staff bots as part of the junk to recreate Jessica, and the memory inside its metal has mixed with Jessica's own memories? Well, it would explain why she remembers the phrase, but not where it comes from. It would also explain a lot about Gregory's robotic origins. Now, that admittedly seems like a stretch, but stick with me. During our initial playthrough of Security Breach, I called out the strange staff bots in two major secret rooms. First, staff bots are either mangled or fully dismantled in the secret daycare room.
A lot of disassembled staff bots. I mean, this one's been beat up. Kind of like torn apart.
This is a room that we theorized
scratched by the looks of it too.
Hideout, considering that we see t-shirts hanging up alongside the walls, kind of like you would a closet, as well as the pictures that label a small child as me also posted on the walls. You know, looking back on this room
Freddy.
Almost a year later, there's another picture in here, my fun day with a big old birthday cake and me labeled right next to it. Just saying, the connections between this kid and FNAF 4's failed birthday party keeps stacking up. Anyway, lots of weird beat up staff bots exist in here in a way that they don't appear practically anywhere else in the game. The second place that we see beat up staff bots is in the most lore heavy room in the game, the post-it room down in the sewers. At the time, I was focused on messages on the post-its, with the one binary one that translates to "Why is I?" This is what led me down the path of Gregory being a robot, and that the message was his first step into consciousness. But post-its aren't the only thing that are in that room. There are also hundreds of broken staff bot heads that are piled along the walls, not endoskeleton parts, specifically staff bots. At the time, I proposed that Gregory might have just been experimenting with the parts. It was just kind of a throwaway comment. But now, thanks to Jessica's connection to a mop bot, I feel like maybe the staff bots and Gregory might be more related than I initially thought.
The bot family.
Why is I? Because his actual memories as the crying child are only just beginning to come back, clashing against the programming of the staff bot who was never truly alive in the first place. And it's why there are all these pieces of broken staff bots up in the daycare room. If he needs a repair, he can just use those parts because they're exact.
You know, it's just so much at this point. Like, I'm following along just fine, but you just 2016 was just so simpler when we were looking at animatronics and we were saying, you know, he might be possessed, and then the game would tell us like the next game over, and then that was it. Or we would think that would be it, but then Scott would make more games, even though he said he was done after like the third and the fourth. So like, I miss the days where it was just as simple as he's possessing that bot, and that's the pink guy, that's the purple guy. Now we have to deal with Fazgoo. I don't know, not aliens. We have to deal with like big scraps trying to turn into a huge monster. We have to deal with the Blob. We have to deal with more William Afton. Who is this kid actually a robot? Like, it's just so much. I miss the days where it was just a purple guy and the 5 children from the original locations.
What he's made from.
It's so much
together with the parts of broken staff bots. All we need now to prove it is the heart-shaped pendant that lies underneath his striped shirt, which means at the time we talk about that would
be crazy if you had one.
Breach. Theory number 3: the Security Breach DLC will be the official end of the Afton saga.
Probably, hopefully.
Nope, not this time, my friend. I feel real confident about this one. How do I know? Well, it all comes back to color. Color has always been hugely important to the franchise. Slightly confusing at times, but important.
Oh no!
So, rather than looking at the poster for hidden eyes up in the corner,
see, now that all this right here brought me back to the good old times. All like the pink guy, he's the same as him. Like, oh my gosh.
Nonetheless. So rather than looking at the poster for hidden eyes up in the corners or trying to figure out why Gregory might be on a computer monitor, I instead wanted to bring your attention
why he out here
to
saying help me
color clues that have been given through this poster. First of all, the title. Take a look at that new logo we got. Security Breach Ruin. Security Breach,
all purple,
as you'd expect, is just the main game logo, but Ruin is purple. Well, this franchise is known for its use of bright colors, especially in the neon Pizzaplex. Purple is always reserved for the Aftons. Obviously, both William and Michael are purple. In the Princess Quest ending, both Vanessa and Gregory are purple. Burntrap's room is purple and so are his eyes. Purple is Afton's color. And so with a purple logo and a room filled with purple lights, I have a feeling that what I predicted at the end of my last theory might come to pass. With Afton being absorbed by the blob, he's gonna take control of it, and it'll be up to us to put an end to him once and for all.
Godzilla Afton blob.
We've used fire 3 times at this point, and it's never once worked, so what else can we do? Well, we can use the girl on the poster. When I first looked at the poster, I knew that there was something fishy about her.
This is weird. Why'd you turn black and white? That's too suspicious. You don't color in one part of your asset and then leave the rest of it black and white.
First of all, let's take a look at the only color that we have to work with here, the shoes.
See, I'm sorry. Just mentioning the good old days again where we brighten up the teasers, but you know what's going on here? How did the FNAF community come upon this one where they brighten up and they notice that she's only black and white? What's going on here?
That's too suspicious.
Is he gonna say that he's one of the old crying children or something?
Of it black and white.
First of all, let's take a look.
Oh, he might say that that's a little girl.
The shoes. Those
right?
lights are pinky red, the same as the pink top of Elizabeth Afton.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, the little girl.
Happens to be close to Gregory's age. The girl in the poster also has pale hair, which would imply that it's blonde rather than brunette. There are definitely some level of physical similarities here, but Elizabeth, just like every other kid in this franchise, is dead. She got herself scooped by babies, so it can't possibly be her, right? Or can it? I suspect that the black and white palette may be just more than hiding her identity, but also informing us to how she's gonna be here in the first place. In media, making something black and white usually implies that it's something from the past, maybe before color television, or just remembering something, like Christopher Nolan's Memento. Elizabeth being black and white, while the rest of the image is fully in color, suggests that she is, in some way, a memory from the past. Now, I theorized last time that to beat Afton and his agony, you have to do what the CistReactZ did back in Fazbear Frights. You have to go inside his mind, find the good memories within the agony.
Yeah, this is how I found out about the whole agony thing that Scott added from MatPat here. Like, you go in the memories and squash the whole agony there. Like, what?
And make the good memories stronger, essentially trapping the person within the happy memories to help the agony disappear. So if this is Elizabeth, well, then that's probably why she's in black and white. She's a construct of when she was alive in Afton's memories. In the end, we might not be exploring the real ruins of the Pizza Plex in the DLC, but rather the ruins of Afton's own mind. A jumbled mix of rage and sadness, pizzerias spread across time and space, a life that has fallen to ruin. If I'm right, the DLC could be an exploration.
He's gonna get crazier from here, I just have a feeling.
Of these games, as we, the memory of Elizabeth, try to put our father to rest once and for all. And honestly, it makes sense for the
imagine like a whole boss rush with every animatronic he's created to kill people with.
Narrative at this point. Afton was absorbed by the blob. The blob is a collection of anger from all of his past victims. For the first time, the two are truly interacting, fusing together. It's the narrative excuse to bring killer and killed together to explore the memories of those moments and finally give everyone peace. Or revenge, one of the two. So there you have it, Steel Wool. I wrote your ending for you. You forced Afton upon us in Security Breach when we all thought he was gone, so you might as well do him some justice and give him the ending he deserves. This is the end of Burntrap and the Blob, closing the book on the Afton saga for good, allowing for a fresh start in the next project, because it's finally time to give the fans what they really want, an AR game that curses the world into a debilitating illness and turns babies into Fazgoo. You know what? On second thought, maybe we just don't adapt that story for the games. But hey, that's just a
that sounds
theory.
confusing.
3 game theories. Thanks for watching.
Holy crap. See, man, like, telling you, it's just getting crazier. Cause, bro, I miss the good old days where it was just it was like 2 or 3 things that we gotta worry about. The box, who's this purple guy? Why are these kids, are these kids still here? Are they not still here? Like, I miss when the game was just Phasmophobia investigations. But anyway, guys, so yeah, that was another Game Theory FNAF video in the bag. If you guys want more Game Theory reactions, make sure you guys hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe for more to become a Kister today, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.